Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video series. Today I'm going to talk about music production. So the past week I have been looking at more fun ways to have fun with music and creating. And for a while now, for a month or two, I've been working with the basics with theory and singing and piano. It's been a lot of fun, but also I'm a very techie guy. So a lot of you can relate, bringing into the new century with all of the apps available. Why not use some software to reverse engineer the learning process? And it's been a lot of fun. So I want to share with you all the knowledge I've gained the past week. Hopefully you can learn something about music production. So what I really got down to was called a DAW, or digital audio workstation. And the most of what I'll show you today is called FL Studio. That was the one that I worked with the most. But let's review some of the ones that I also thought were really helpful. So if you're on a phone or a tablet on either Android or iOS, you can get some basic apps out there. So for example, some of my favorites that were highly rated in the store, and they have a ton of tutorials on YouTube. You can learn a lot of extra features that I won't show you today. And that is Music Maker Jam, Walk Band, and then my favorite that I'm going to kind of demo in a few minutes is called Soundtrap. So that was fun. And if you become a little more advanced, those were pretty basic, then go into GarageBand. You've probably heard of it. It's I would say a medium featured capability. And then the most advanced one, if you want to really get into what the pros use, that's called FL Studio. There's a ton of content out there. And the gentleman I followed was called busyworksbeats.com, and he had a great volume of collection of material. And then the bulk of my demo is going to cover 5 features, 5 buttons, and you can read them here on the screen. Those are the ones you really need to know to get started. It's a lot of fun. So let's check out our demo. I brought with me my iPad Pro, and I'll share with you, this is a lot of fun. You can do so much creativity on the iPad. So I'm going to switch over to that. Okay, I should see my screen here. So let's jump into the first one, Soundtrap. We'll just start with the blank canvas. You can have some preset templates as well. Oop, there we go. Change orientation here. Okay. So first thing to show you is there's presets. If you want to, let's start with the bass line. Drums, those are a good place to start. I'm going to use EDM, electronic dance music, and you can preview these. You can hear that. And you could go through these. Some of these are free, some of them you could pay for. When you find the one you want, just drag it over into your, actually double click it and it brings it in. Okay. Let's see if we're getting sound here. Should be. It's rather muted. Okay, now let's say we want to add a new instrument. So here's a selection. The drums are fun, so we'll start with those. And I'll exit out of the presets. And what you do is you can mute this track. So we're going to mute it because we're going to record a new track. And let's go ahead and start recording. So you could have fun with this, even if you're a beginner. and you can record your drums. And then when you're done, pause that one, and let's add another one. How about, well, a popular one is a guitar. And you get a piano here. You can hook up a MIDI device, which is basically will record the instrument on your computer rather than using a piano to record it. But for demonstrations, I'll just show you how the piano works. So then, I'm not going to be a Mozart here, but to show you how the recording works. And then what's fun about this is you can stretch this. You can cut out some of the stuff. Like let's say you accidentally recorded something you didn't want to, you cut it, or you can drag it around and do that. So we'll do one more just for fun. How about some strings? And then you can select the different types of strings. There are some presets. The different sounds. You can preview it out here. And let's start from the beginning. We'll start recording. And then when we're done with that, you can listen to it. We're going to wait. Maybe we'll start in the chorus. So after that one's done, then we'll play violin and be done. So now if you want to play it back, so as you can see, some of these were playing while I was recording, so I usually mute those, and then you can activate them all. If you want to hear just one, hit the headphones. If you want to hear all of them, have them all. Or if you want to hear just one or two, you can unmute or mute. So there it is. That's essentially the basics of most of the free apps that you're going to get out there. You have presets, you have ways to customize your own, and then also you can input your own sounds with the MIDI controller. So that's Soundtrap. GarageBand, I'd say GarageBand's a little more advanced. Here's some of the things you can do. Keyboard, here's your external input, drums, there's your stringed instruments. Here's your audio recorder. They all have that. You can sing into it. There's an amp, drums. So let's start with the drums. They're fun. So same concept here. Go up here to start on the first measure and record. And then do your drums. Stop your recording. And then what's also fun, you can change your layout here. So if you want different drum sets, you can do that. Same thing here, add a track. Let's try strings here. And then this is fun. You can pick out let's do them all. So let's start recording. We're gonna mute that one. You can hear the metronome ticking in the background. I actually muted the wrong one. My apologies. There you go. Okay, let's stop that. And let's add another one just for fun. How about a guitar? So this one, instead of a piano, you actually get a guitar and you can move it around. So let's go ahead and record. I'll mute that one. Don't want to hear it. And there we go. Now you can listen to it. And there are also some presets that you can add into it as well. And then you can save it, and then you can upload these to SoundCloud for free, share them with your friends. It's a great way to get started on creating your own music. All right, so those are all available on, well, this is only available on the iOS, it's for free. The other apps for mobile are on both, and they're for free. So now let's get into the FL Studio, which is, let me stop here. which is on Windows. Okay, so FL Studio is pretty advanced. It's been around for a while, and it's free on Windows. It costs money for iOS and for Android. I think it's $10 or so. To get started, though, it's really advanced on the Windows machine. I have this running on a Surface, which is at 2.6 gigahertz with 4 gig RAM. They recommend actually a lot more horsepower. So the gentleman I was following, he uses what's called a Razer Blade Pro, and it's an advanced gaming machine. If you're familiar with that, with like such as Alienware, because if you get a really complicated where you have 30 tracks all playing at the same time, your system's going to start slowing down. You're going to lose audio quality where it's just going to slow down and not even sound good. But as a beginner, you can start with any, there are minimum requirements, but you can start with anything and then work your way up from there. Okay, so and you can see the performance indicator up here with the RAM. And then by default, it's going to use 500 megabytes up to a gigabyte. And then your CPU monitor is going to be there so you can watch for that. All right, so the basics. The 5 buttons that I talked about are up here. So first you have, let's call it for your patterns. You can add a pattern, you can add new patterns, layer patterns. Once you create one, and then you can duplicate it for a chorus, for example. Yeah, and then you can toggle on and off to get back to these windows. You don't have to sweat losing them. Okay, here is what's called the channel rack, and this is just going to give you a list of instruments and also a way to customize those instruments. So for example, here you can change the crossfade, the trim, and a bunch of the settings right inside of here. And then the third button over here is your playlist. You're going to spend the most time here, and this is basically where you're going to create your music, which I'll show you. And then lastly, here is your crossfader, I guess, your equalizer, which I haven't used a lot. Oh, and then lastly, your playlist. This is where you're going to get all your presets. So that's what I'll show you to start with. So let's start with some of those. So there's a lot of pre-installed sounds with FL Studio. You can go out and buy your own. You probably are, the more advanced you get. So let's just start with the symbol here. So what you do is you just click there and open a new channel. And then you can customize it if you want, but you'll see that it's now in there. So let's go back to here, and then you can choose from the drop down. We're going to choose this instrument. And then what you do is you have your bars here. So let's say 4 measures, and we're going to start there. And you create a note here, you can stretch it out, and then you could create a new note, duplicate that, duplicate it, move it around, and we're just going to throw some random ones on there. Okay, so let's see, what else can we find? How about some loops? This is a good one to start with. So we'll add that one in there, and we'll stretch it out. We're just going to do 4 bars for right now. Oh, and then if you need to delete, you just right click and it's gone. So same concept as we were doing before. Let's see what else we can find. Here's a guitar, here's a keyboard. We did a loop. There's even vocals. So that could be fun. Come up here. Add that in there. What else can we find? Loops, instruments. We have drums, we have bass. Yeah, you can go in and find a ton of stuff. And there's also plugins. Plugins are basically how you tweak, such as an auto tuner. You can add in an auto tuner. Some are free, but some there's a lot that you pay for. So let's keep going. What else can we add? Trying to find some good stuff. Here's your plugins up here. Uh, well, okay, so we'll go ahead and play it. So back to here. And then it's going to repeat after it finishes that bar. So then here, let's add more, add a couple kicks. Add some more stuff in here, snare. And there's also tricks to move it up and down an octave. You can copy and paste and move stuff around much more quickly. We'll add a clap. And then you keep repeating it and refining it. Let's go back to the sound. You can also hold click and it'll get rid of it. So that's basically the fundamentals of how you get started in the FL Studio. And you can, again, you can record this, upload it to SoundCloud, share it with your friends, get some feedback, get some collaboration, and it's really, really powerful. You can spend a lifetime developing on this platform. So hopefully you found this useful. Don't forget to comment and have any questions, leave those in the comments below. If you have any future things that you want me to share with you, I'd be happy to dig in more to that in detail. So hopefully you like this, share this video with your friends or subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep putting out more music videos. And next week I'm going to do more on the iPad with Procreate or some drawing apps that you might find really a lot of fun. So it should be a lot of fun. So see you next time.